Day 3. By daylight, a fish takes the other baits, forcing Santiago to cut off all the other lines so that they do not interfere with that of the marlin. The marlin makes a sudden dive that pulls Santiago, catching his face below the eye, and he tells the marlin that he will not surrender. He will fight the marlin until one of them dies. He also realizes that the marlin seems not to be exhausted and swims at a shallow depth. He hopes that the fish will jump in the air and fills its air sacs so that it cannot dive deep into the water. If the fish dives into the water, he will not be able to pull it up because of its size. He's afraid not to pull the line because it may snap. Santiago loves the marlin, but he must kill it at the end of the day. A bait lands on the marlin's line and he speaks to it. Santiago notices the cut on his face and washes away the blood while eating part of the tuna to maintain his energy level and to get his strength. He lifts his left hand cramps and the marlin jumps out of the water suddenly. For the first time, he gets a full view of the magnificent fish as it is bigger than his cave. Santiago has caught 2 big fish, but not alone, and out of sight of the shoreline. The marlin is the greatest that he has seen, and he concludes that killing the fish will be the greatest accomplishment of his life. He promises to say 10 Hail Marys and Our Fathers if he catches the marlin. The prayers that he makes him feel happy, takes away some of the pain on his back and cramped hand. He rebaits one of the lines to catch something to eat. He wants to kill the marlin to prove to Manolin that he is indeed a strange old man. He yearns to sleep and dreams of lions. He also wonders why lions are the only things that he dreams about nowadays. His hand uncrams, but he feels exhausted because of lack of sleep and proper nutrition. He distracts his mind by thinking about baseball and the greatest player that he has ever known, DiMaggio, whose father used to be a fisherman. This is a young player who has risen from poverty to fame and plays wonderfully despite a career-threatening bone spur. Santiago has respect for the marlin, and the thought of the shark shakes him from within. He retrospects about the hand game in Casablanca. As a young man, he had engaged the strongest man on deck from Cienfuegos with a change of referees, and it had lasted for 24 hours. But at the disadvantage point, despite all odds, he had won the game, earning him the title El Campeón. Santiago knows that the marlin will get exhausted and will start to settle. He eats the rest of the fish, the tuna, that he had kept. Finally, he sleeps, dreaming of mating porpoises. He also dreams sleeping in a village in the cold where he had used his hands as pillow. And finally, the dream shifts to lion playing on the long beaches. This part of the novella captures the fight with the marlin and the physical injury that Santiago suffers from, highlighting endurance. The manner in which Santiago handles the marlin shows that he is a skillful fisherman. His survival in the battle is what defines his personality. Santiago's body cramps and betrays him, but he hangs on despite lack of proper sleep and food. Santiago recognizes the superiority of his intelligence, but he does not consider himself more superior than the marlin. He dreams of the glory that he will bring back home And the fact that Manolin's faith in him is not in vain. He wants to defeat the Malin out of pride, and he challenges himself. The benefit that he will get from the fish is secondary to the restored glory that he will have among other fishermen. The dream or the retrospection about Casablanca, about him sleeping in a village where he had used his hand and pillow and under the coat, and the dream about lions are the things that motivate and keep him to continue to fight.